Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Always a good day when we have our friends in from San Diego Junior Theater doing just remarkable things since 1948. My goodness. Joining us is Desha Crownover. She is the artistic director for San Diego Junior Theater, joined by her colleague, Jimmy Saba, executive director for the theater. So Desha and Jimmy, welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, kidding me. It's always good. I mean, we could make this a show once a day for the whole year, and we'll never run out of topics on that. Jimmy, we'll start with you. How long have you been ED over at the theater?
I'm in my 10th year.
My goodness. And you are an alumnus of
I am.
So
my first year at Junior Theater was in 1977, so I've been there a long time.
What was the play you were in?
Tom Sawyer, directed by Don and Bonnie Ward.
Good. And did you play Tom?
No.
Okay, what did you play?
I was in the ensemble. I worked my way up.
You were in the ensemble. Obviously, you have had a passion for theater for a long time. Were your parents into it? Were siblings, aunts, uncles, just you?
No. I like to think that I turned my family into a theater family. Since I started the theater, my mom and dad joined barbershop quartet, started taking clogging lessons, that type of thing. Sometimes it happens the other way around.
Right, but they are the better for it. And Desha, how about you? How long have you been involved?
I'm not an alum of the program, but I feel like I should be. I started teaching at Junior Theater at 25.
Well, my goodness.
And 25 years later.
Here you are.
I'm teacher, director, and artistic director.
That's great. And so same thing, did you always have an affinity for theater and performance when you were a little child? Despite
my parents' misgivings and the fact that they thought I would live with them for the rest of my life, once I told them I was a theater major in college.
Right. Good. We're going to keep the room just like it is. And when you're still living with us at 62, we're going to say, we told you so. And of course, that didn't happen. Did you major in theater in school?
Yes, I did. Both undergraduate and graduate degrees in theater.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to undergraduate at UCSD and grad school at San Diego State.
Very good. Good. How about you, Jimmy?
I went to Southern Methodist University in Dallas,
SMU,
Texas. Yeah.
Absolutely. The Mustangs, right? And undergrad and graduate?
Just undergrad.
How'd you wind up there?
You had a good theater program at the time, and I had a teacher at the Old Globe Theater who said he went there, and I put it in my head. I said, that's where I'm going to go. And it was as simple as that. It was simpler days. You didn't apply to like 30 different schools like they do today.
Yeah, No, I'm with you. Right. I think I applied to one school, and unfortunately, they foolishly accepted me. So we'll start with you on this, Jimmy, and then we'll tee it over to Desha. 75 anniversary, right? Mm-hmm. Talk about it.
Well, we usually celebrate our anniversaries on the decade. So This is a unique year in that 75th sort of begs for a celebration, but it's not the 70th or the 80th where we'll do a sort of a gala or larger kind of event.
Right.
So this year we're looking to do several smaller events. We kicked off the season with a 75th anniversary picnic on our closing night of our Head Over Heels, which closed on August 13th. August 13th. It was a small event for our families, trying to unite our education families and our production families. We had a band. We had our auxiliary out there selling treats. And we offered $10 tickets to the show afterwards. So we hope to do several of those events throughout the year like that, and then culminate in some kind of event that I think we're still working on the final week after our production of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella.
And when's that going to be?
That production opens July 21st, closes August 6th, so that it would be the weekend after that August 6th.
Yeah, no, that's very exciting. And if you probably sat there and listed all the people that have gone through junior theater and now have won Emmys and Grammys and Tonys and Oscars and whatever else there is in there, Desha, and I'm sure you come across a lot of them as you did too, Jimmy. I think there'll be a long list, would it not?
Oh, the alumni list is incredible. I just saw a production of Ragtime last night at Moonlight Theater, where two of the lead roles, three of the three lead roles, I think, were played by junior theater alum that have gone on to Broadway, and some are just starting their careers. It's incredible. But the thing that I love, I think, the most about the junior theater program is that we really want to cultivate great people. So, in addition to the artists and theater people that come out of it, junior theater's fostered doctors and lawyers and first responders and educators and everything. It's just an incredibly unique program that I feel so lucky to be a part of.
Yeah, I don't want to get too off base on this here, but anybody who's heard me get geeked up about VAPA stuff, which I do every 5 seconds, and probably when you were on before, Desha, if Drew ran the world, that's all we'd be teaching in the classes. K through 12 would be visual performing arts, and I'll throw in athletics, because every single subject from physics to science to STEM to STEAM to things we don't even, cyber, all can be taught through you folks. And
Amen.
In a very wonderful way that hits the empathy gene that seemed to go by the way of the dodo bird. And you guys bring it back. And I'll start with you on this, Desha, and then tee it over to you, Jimmy. Talk about just how important that's what theater is all about.
Theater, arts in general, theater education, and you touched on a huge part of it right there, Drew, is if we can teach our upcoming generations to be empathetic, to be resilient, to feel like they are part of a bigger whole, to feel like they have an identity and who they are and what their purpose is on earth, and to feel part of a community that loves and values them. All of these things theater education teaches, and theater is just the vehicle for creating better human beings. Even if you never grace a stage or do anything, but have that one experience that helps you cultivate these things, you know what it feels like, and you know how important that is.
It would be a beautiful world, Jimmy. Agree?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have what Desha just sort of articulated as our 5 core values of the program, and we sort of always remember those in every show we pick, in every experience, every class we program, that it's not always about trying to get that kid to Broadway, but trying to give that kid the soft skills they need to survive in life.
Well, I mean, the folks that do this well know how to listen, know how to communicate. Again, whether they're on stage or they're building a stage or they're doing things, they're writing a play or whatever the case may be. And it's one of these things that I think someone is somewhere, somehow, probably has already written, is going to go, we really cut out visual and performing arts from the schools during this era instead of enhancing it. Were we nuts? And now listen, I like the public schools. I worked for them for quite a while, but listen, we can't talk about that stuff enough. We're chatting with Desha Crownover. She is the artistic director for the San Diego Junior Theater, joined by her colleague, Jimmy Saba, executive director of Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Jimmy, we'll start with you on this, and then Desha, you jump in as well. The 75th season lineup of shows starts with SpongeBob the Musical. When is that kicking off?
It opens October 28th. It plays through November 15th. We're super excited about that. That's our fall production. And that's in just been cast and is in rehearsal soon.
So who came up with that idea?
I'm going to throw that over to Desha. She's the artistic director.
She is the artistic director.
So I guess officially the titles stop with me, but really what we do to pick a season at Junior Theater is we pull together a committee of stakeholders, which include artists from the community, parents that are involved, educators, theater people, and we kind of hash out different different shows and titles and what they would do for our kids, how it would help serve our bigger mission. Are the titles inclusive? Are they educational? Are they just strictly fun? Will they draw a crowd? And so kind of all of us in that one think tank meeting over several times came up with these titles. And we have a long list of titles that sort of like sit on the short list for a long time.
Sure.
Until we figure out what the right thing for that season is.
Yeah. Anybody who's watched SpongeBob, I'm a Gary fan, by the way. Exactly. It shows you a little bit of my, sophomoric side of me, but it's good to be sophomoric. You know what I'm saying? It keeps you young and all that business. I think it's absolutely terrific. Desha, so the age group for people to perform in San Diego junior theaters from what to what?
From 8 to 18. So
Right.
you have to be turning 8 to be able to audition for a show.
Right.
And basically no older than about to turn 19.
Okay, right. Exactly. And then you folks, Jimmy, it's all about collaboration. Heaven forbid we actually work together on that. Talk about some of the other groups that you work with. Do you work with Broadway San Diego? Do you work with the Conrad? Do you work with all these other theaters?
Well, we have our own space, luckily, with
Right.
at the Costa del Prado Theater that we share with a couple of other groups.
Right.
San Diego Civic Youth Ballet,
Right.
San Diego Youth Symphony and Conservatory, Civic Dance Arts. We all share the Costa del Prado. Throughout the year, we have collaborated with different artists from, say, different heads of organizations. For like this Head Over Heels was directed by Blake McCarty of Blind Spot Collective.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a collaboration, but we are working with other artists at other figureheads at other theaters.
Right.
I'm trying to think of the last true collaboration we
we do jump in and we partner with different groups to be able to provide, an overall great education. So this past year, we actually partnered with Miles Shrewsbury, who is, I believe, with the World Beat Center on Jungle Book, and he's an acclaimed tabla drummer, and so the kids got a chance to work with Indian drumming and see what that instrumentation was like in Jungle Book. We also partnered with the puppet group. Animal Cracker Conspiracy, who built puppets for our snowy day, and kids discovered just this incredible, beautiful art of puppetry and are able to do that. So a lot of times it's just figuring out what the right partnership is for the specific show that's coming up.
Right. Before we go to break, though, but I think it's so important that people know. I used to get asked this question a lot when I was working for the Union Tribune in a program called Newspaper and Education, and we had a nice competition with the North County Times at the time. And someone said to me, would you rather have nobody use the North County Times newspaper and education program if they're not using yours? I said, no. I want people to love newspaper and education no matter what. And if we're doing our job, they'll gravitate to us. And if they love both papers, that's wonderful. Same thing with, theater. You just want people to love theater. You don't care where they love it, how they love it. And that's important. Is that not true, Jimmy?
Yes, that is. I mean, a lot of our kids put their energies in a lot of different theaters in San Diego.
Right.
I mean, I like to believe that we are best when we can cultivate a community.
Right.
So there is that, and we are shaping young minds in a way that we like to control what that narrative is. For example, like for every 2 shows that our kids do on stage, they're required to crew 1 show backstage, which is sort of just another one of those ethics we like to instill in our kids. If you're going to be to be a good, you're not going to be disrespectful of your dresser if you were a dresser on the last show.
No, without question. We come back from break, and we're going to chat more about the 75th season lineup of shows. We'll talk a little bit about some of the fall classes and camps that are being offered. And Desha, as you know, we always save time at the second part of the show to what our listeners can do to enhance the San Diego Junior Theater brand when we return with Desha Crownover. She is the artistic director for the San Diego Junior Theater, joined by her colleague Jimmy Saba, executive director for the theater. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to Drew Schlosberg's Cloudcast Media's Spotlight on the Community, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, Cloudcast Media. You're listening to Drew Schlosberg, Spotlight on the Community, and Cloudcast Media brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing great things to San Diego for more than 60 years. We're chatting with our good friends from San Diego Junior Theater, Desha Crownover. She is the artistic director of San Diego Junior Theater, joined by Jimmy Saba, executive director for the theater. And Jimmy, we had just started on the 75th season lineup of shows, starting with the SpongeBob musical in October, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, what else is on the lineup?
We've got that's followed by a devised piece called Edgar Allan Poe's Gruesome Gallery of Grotesquerie. That's going to be a world premiere for us. It's going to be developed by actually, I'm going to turn that over to Desha to talk about the process on that, because that's going to be kind of a unique process for us.
Yeah, please.
Sure. So this is a really, really neat thing that we're going to be doing. And one of the directions that theater in general is moving into is more towards like devised pieces, which is where the artists create the show themselves and then perform it. And that's something that our kids at Junior Theater do a little bit on the education side, but this is going to be the first time that we're actually going to codify it into a full-blown production. And this is going to be led by Blake McCarty, who is the founding artistic director at Blind Spot Collective, who specializes in this sort of thing. Blake directed Head Over Heels for us this past summer, and is really great at helping to the devising process. So our kids are now going to be working with him in the fall on devising a play based entirely on Edgar Allan Poe's literature, and they will codify that into a play that will be performed January 13th through 22nd. So it's a soup to nuts sort of a situation, and super exciting to all these kids, for them to stretch these different muscles.
Yeah, no, that's great. And everything can be found on your website, correct?
Absolutely.
Correct. Yeah.
JuniorTheater.com.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got fall classes and camps that start on September 12th, right?
That's correct.
What's that all about?
So we do year-round classes. In the fall, there'll be a 10-week sort of format with some workshops, and all of our classes are listed on the website. But
right.
We've got some new education director, Alyssa Russell, who's doing a terrific job. This will be her first full year with us. And we had a terrific summer where we just did 12 weeks of summer camp and had about 330 more students than we had over 2019. So that's really a positive sign. I'm hoping that will also follow for the fall. We have classes that we have some that are. Desha had said that in order to audition for a show, you have to be starting at be 8 to 18.
Right.
Classes start kindergarten. So we actually go K through 3 in classes as well, and that seems to be our largest growing area, which is kind of interesting. So we have classes as young as kindergarten. So take a look for those classes as well.
Yeah, and that sort of makes sense now. There's so much been emphasized on TK in the classroom. And getting these kids started earlier. And of course, now when you see what a 5-year-old is doing, I mean, I'm not sure if I'm even doing that now at my age, for that matter. And it makes all the sense in the world. And again, as we mentioned earlier, the skill sets and the learning, because it's all fun when they don't realize they're learning, I guess, in many different ways. And this thing all can be done in this. And when you grab them from 5 to 8, we know that's a critical area for reading, and kids that are at grade level in age 8, 3rd grade, that's sort of the tipping point. Now obviously they can, if they are not, they can certainly make up. But we all know that, and of course, what you folks are doing is just it's spectacular on that. Let me ask you this, Desha. Is there a waiting list for people to get involved with San Diego theater, or you'll take anybody that's between those ages and have the capacity to do so?
Excellent question. I will. When you said waiting list, it just made me think of our last summer camp. Our summer camp was so huge, we actually did have waiting lists for kids to get in. But we have classes and opportunities for kids for every opportunity, from the first time stepping on stage or wanting to take an acting class, all the way up to those kids who have been doing this for a while and are looking for a bigger challenge. And again, as Jimmy was saying, we have kids from kindergarten all the way up through 18. Wherever you are at in your journey, we have a class or an opportunity for you to be a part of this.
Yeah, no, I think it's just so important. How many of the kids who start at age 8 go all the way till they're 18?
It's again, a really, really good question as we kind of look back on it. I would say that there are ebbs and flows of it, because oftentimes what will happen is we will get kids at that age, around 8, 9, 10. Then they'll go away for a year or two to try something else to see what else is out there. And inevitably we get them back. So we do have some lifetimers who have been with us from ages, 5 or 6 all the way up through 18. But it's kind of a revolving door of different kids all the time. And again, the wonderful thing is, whether you've been in the program a year, if you've been in it 15 years, they still find a place to call it. It's their theater home. It's their safe space.
Yeah, no, and imagine folks have been doing this for quite a while, that many of them, maybe do they come back and actually produce some of the stuff you're doing?
100%. In fact, what's really one of the unique things I get to see in my job is that kids that I was an educator for back in the 90s and early 2000s are now coming back to direct, choreograph, musical direct. It's a really cool thing to have that common language, and they know the institution, they know what JT's about, and they get the culture of how important theater education is.
Yeah, it is. And again, we really just can't talk about enough how critical it is. Do you offer scholarships, Jimmy, for those folks that might not be able to have the means to participate?
Yeah, we do. We have tuition assistance on every level. And so if there's a need for that, the information is on our website for that. That's just a simple application. But we also have a new scholarship called the You Will Be Found Scholarship, and that's to promote diversity and inclusion at junior theater. This is the first year that we had it. In fact, it's being underwritten by the Conrad Prebitz Foundation, who I hear follows us today.
You'll see him. Absolutely.
Okay, so that's really terrific. And that's actually a grant to underwrite all of our inclusion programs at junior theater, which I think are fairly robust. And what we're looking for is up to 4 students each year who may not have found theater yet, but we're looking to talk to their teachers, to their parents, to say, I've got a kid that I have a sense that this might be their thing. And we say, great, here's your free ride at junior theater for 1 whole year. It covers all of your tuition. Wow. It covers your production fees, and it will do that. You have that. All you have to do is fill out an application and do an interview, and we choose our top 4.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And, we all know giving those underrepresented, groups that opportunity is huge, and something that's never lost on us. I've been honored to be doing this show, believe it or not, for 16 years. Is never lost on me, and we say it quite a bit on the show, probably too much. How many kids in this community have never been to the beach, have never been in the mountains, never been to a sporting event, and absolutely have not been to theater. And once you get the bug of live theater, just theater period, but especially live theater, it doesn't leave you. I think it's fantastic. We got a couple minutes to go here. I'll start with you on this, Desha. Any final comments?
We're so excited and honored to be celebrating our 75th, to be providing theater education to kids for this long. It's just such an honor to be part of what feels like a hard and but noble endeavor to create better human beings, and to be able to do it through the vehicle of theater I couldn't want for anything more.
Yeah, and we need to have that population grow exponentially and overnight, basically, in that aspect. Jimmy, what can our listeners do? How can we support what you folks are doing in the theater?
Well, we'll always take a donation. You can donate online at juniortheater.com. And that's Junior Theater spelled JUNIORTHEATRE.
Right.
We made it really hard for you.
That's right.
But also, the best thing you can do is come out and support us by seeing a show or enrolling in a class. And that's how a lot of families learn about us. In addition, one thing we haven't talked about is that we do in a non-pandemic year, we can reach about 15,000 kids through our student matinee program.
Right.
So we do our students are performing for other students at different schools. So that's a big exposure opportunity for us. And we do outreach at different schools. So we can set up an outreach program at individual school.
Right. So that just begs the question to have you guys come back on the show sooner than later to talk about that. And if you don't mind, would love to have somebody that has performed and maybe a student that wants to come on and chat about his or her experiences. And I'm going to hold you to that, all right?
That would be awesome. Thank you for that.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Desha, and you, Jimmy. Want to encourage everyone to go to that San Diego Junior Theater site. See this wonderful program we're starting with SpongeBob, the SpongeBob musical coming up in October, and all the other great things that are going on, the summer camps and so forth. It's just an iconic organization in San Diego. It's a treasure, and we should take advantage of it. So I can't thank you enough for coming on.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing great things to San Diego for over 60 years.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.